All right, we be live. Hello, everyone. My name is Armin Navabi. We're here live on Atheist Republic, and I'm here with our amazing, exciting guest, Jasem Aljuraid, otherwise known as JJ. Hi, Jasem.
Hi, Armin. Good to be with you.
Oh, it's so great to be with you. I'm so excited that you said yes to this interview. I mean, I've been following you from a distance, and I can't actually believe that this live stream is happening. Let me just introduce you to the people in the live chat, guys. Please make sure you like the stream. So you have so many things that I had to make a bullet point of all the things that I need to tell the people about you before I let you explain yourself. So first of all, Jasem is a Kuwaiti journalist who turned into a political dissident. He publicly declared he's an atheist, which is very rare in people in the Arab countries around the Persian Gulf, which we will get to. The Persian Gulf, we'll talk about that. He's a fierce critic of Islamism and Arab countries, regimes around the Persian Gulf, and also is a critic of censorship. You openly support Israel and normalization of relationships with Israel. You're a strong supporter of Reza Pahlavi and also Iran's secular future. And also, you have been fired from a newspaper and sentenced to 13 years in prison for blasphemy. You fled Kuwait, and you now live in exile in Canada, and you use your X account to challenge Arab taboos and promote Arab, Persian, and Jewish unity. Is that all correct?
That's super correct. You're very accurate in this.
Okay. Well, tell me more. Tell me a little bit more about yourself. What are the? I'm just all ears. I'm gonna let you do most of the talking. I have some few questions for you to do most of the talking.
Well, let me start from now, going all the way to where it started. First of all, I'm very happy to be amongst you guys, the Persian people, the diaspora of Iranians. They're reflecting the right identity of those educated Iranian, the ones who are promoting peace, who are connected with their heritage, and every time I read about King Cyrus and the first, declaration of human rights, because me and you now, right? We are going and trying to find some freedom and human rights, and the main guy who wrote that Declaration of Human Rights is King Cyrus, and I would never forget about this. And he's the first one who took the Jews as hostages from the Babylon, or whatever we call it now. We call it Iraq nowadays. So you're one of the oldest civilization. I'm not here to just compliment the Iranians, and these are facts. So I'm in Canada right now as a political refugee. I'm a protected person now in Canada. Unfortunately, that I had to flee my country uh, due to my bold statements about having peace with Israel. That's number one. Number two, I was trying to debunk every single topic that puts the Arabs as an ethnicity, and they ignited those ethnicity values in people, and they Arabized the entire Middle Eastern region, and they tried to Arabize also Iran, and they couldn't. And I said that this Arab colonization has fallen after Jamal Abdel Nasser's loss. Uh, uh, since I'm half Turkish, I also have connections with Mustafa Kemal Ataturk. I love this guy, the founder of Turkey, and every single reformer in this world. We're talking about like huge reformation, the one who brings sovereignty and patriotism to a new nation. They always make mistakes, right? So those people who connected with Reza Pahlavi the first. I never forget that meeting as well. I keep on watching it, and I've promoted it on my social media. People, they keep asking those questions. what are the ties that JJ has to the Arab-speaking nation or to the Turkish and the the Iranian diaspora everywhere in this world. So I was running for the parliament as a candidate, and that was the last needle in the coffin. Given the fact that I was also a long-term writer at Al-Kabas publisher. It's one of the most prestigious publishers in the GCC. And I always identify myself as a Gulf citizen from Kuwait. So I'm connected to the Gulf because I'm an Arab in the Gulf. But I did not like this situation before October 7 and after October 7. And throughout those years when the Arabs, they kept on, claiming things that it doesn't belong to them. One of them is the name of the Persian Gulf. And I said, guys, come on. The founder of Saudi Arabia and the great founder of the Emirates that everybody loves in the modern time, Sheikh Zayed, who stopped all the Islamist, fascist political activists to enter UAE ever since he founded UAE, he was calling it the Persian Gulf. So I said, guys, this is a very cheap attempt to to make yourself loud and sound to the entire world and say that we have a like a gulf, or like a water geographical area that called Arabian Gulf by force or by propaganda. So I was kicked out of Al-Kabas back in 2022, and I received a lot of death threats, and I've also reported this to the authorities in Kuwait. There were people, they called themselves atheists, or they called themselves, like they didn't declare this out loud, but they call themselves liberals, and this is how to camouflage within the society.
You called yourself an atheist when you were still in Kuwait, right?
I did not say it out loud. I was saying like, okay, I'm a liberal and I don't believe in anything that the Islam is providing. So I said it very out and clear, and they said, why don't you say this? It's super dangerous.
So okay.
Imagine that the judge, which is one of the main responsibility of any judge around the world, is to establish balance within the society and peace and justice. They are all, most of them, like let's say 75% of those judges are Sharia law educators. So when you have a case against like Othman al-Khamis or those big scholars who I like issued a lot of investigative reports against them, when you see a case like when you see Jasem and that scholar, what would the judge do in this case? You're gonna say like, you know what, I'm not going to Jahannam, I'm not going to hell. So Jasem has to take some hits. So I received a lot of jabs during my tenure of being a writer and a political activist in Kuwait. So I never shy away from saying I don't have to say Salaam Alaikum. I don't have to say Bismillah on anything that I'm starting my day with. So they were like issuing a lot of question marks around me. So I was kicked out of Al-Kabas, and that was a big issue in Kuwait, and this has never happened in Kuwait, Armin. I was fired from Al-Kabas publisher back in 2022 for speaking with an Israeli, and the outspoken Israeli political analyst. His name is Eddie Cohen, and he's an Arabic-speaking Israeli. And so I did invite him, to be very, very frank, while I'm in Kuwait. I invited him to come to my house. I said, I would love to invite you and have a nice meal, whatever it is, and to take that glass of wine together in Kuwait. So they said, what, wine? Okay, so let's put our hypocrite character in there. Let's not say that we drink, behind the scenes. So JJ, you're drinking. Are you kafir? Are you like an upstate, whatever it is? So yeah, in Kuwait. So it's like, I'm not innocent, okay? I'm telling you, I'm not innocent.
Why were you doing all these risky things? Like, were you not afraid?
No, we never been, exposed to any risks back in the previous emir's tenure. His name is Sabah al-Ahmed. Sabah was very liberal, and we used to meet him from time to time. And as Al-Qabas writers, and he keeps on, telling us, guys, go after the political Islam groups, but try not to provocate the public people, about the Islam or whatever. So we're saying no, we're not after the general public. We're after the scholars who tries to damage our identity, like how it happened now to Iran. Unfortunately, the IRGC has deconstruct, like they have dismantled your strong foundation of civilization and freedom of speech and secularism, and they've replaced it with the radical Islam system. So I didn't want to see this happening in Kuwait, but unfortunately, I'm one person, and it happened. But I didn't stop. They took me out of any TV channel in Kuwait. I used to have a lot of interviews in Kuwait, like interviews like on paper or on TV, and they said Jasem is banned to be on TV, and that struck me a lot, Armin. That's why I ran for the parliament, and then I said, okay, I'll take the spotlights right now, and let's talk about secularism and women rights and human rights and so forth.
And Israel. Why is it so important? Why do you think it's so important in your opinion, for Arab countries to normalize relationship with Israel? Like, why is that such a big deal?
If you take a look at the Middle East, you wouldn't find a real democracy ever, but in Israel, you wouldn't find a new form of a state where it started as a religious state and transformed itself into a secular state where you can see Muslim, Baha'is, Jewish, Hindu, atheists living in peace, and they can become judges. They can get all the rights from their general law. So Israel has been, this tiny piece in the Middle East has been targeted for 75 years so far. And when I went back to the history, and I've debated a lot of people, and I always ask them to choose the grounds to establish this debate. I said, do you want it religiously? Do you want to have a religious discussion? Do you want to have a civil discussion? Or want to talk about the regulator of the entire universe or entire world here, which is the UN? Do you want to bring the UN discussion or Quran discussion or civil discussion? And I've been beating them in all these fronts, stating as your Quran is much more Zionist than Jasem Aljuraid. And I've thrown a couple of ayahs and verses from Quran stating that God has ordered the Jews to go to that land, which I don't believe in. I don't believe in this, verses, whatever. So God has called them to go to that land, and he has chosen them to become kings, and he defended them from Haman and pharaohs, and he made them the best people, or the chosen people of this entire world. I said, isn't this super Zionist, or a Zionist in a like injected with a booster? Isn't this a God with a booster Zionism? All right, forget about this. Let's go to the UN. Who took the chance after Mustafa Kemal Ataturk gave that land to Sais and Beko, and said, guys, take me out of this long fight about this land, and I want to turn my compass to the west. Take this land, fix it, declare all these states in the Middle East after the Ottoman Empire collapsed. So Israel came and said, okay, we're Jews, we've been invaded back in times, and the colonizers, the Arabs, came and took this land from us, stating that their prophet Muhammad has traveled over an animal to that land at night. So we have the entire right over the Jews now to take this land. He has traveled. Come on. So Mustafa Kemal Atatürk said, the Ottoman Empire has collapsed, and I call the world, a new world order to come and take a place here. Israel said yes to a state. Palestinians said no. We want to have this land from the river to the sea. And what did they call Israel or the Jews? The invaders, the settlers. Isn't this like really funny? They've been invaded back in times, and then when they come back to their land, where we have to celebrate their comeback to be part of the Middle East, and then we say, invaders. I can't find any solid grounds in that particular topic. So that also supports my position and my support to Israel. From my mom's side, and I've done a DNA test, Armin, and in the DNA test that I have ties in Israel.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
I mean, everybody there is all. It's a whole stew of people are all connected there. So it's to be expected. But what about Reza Pahlavi, the crown prince of Iran, the son of the former king Mohammad Reza Shah? Why do you support him? So you support Israel and you support Mohammad Reza Shah, the current secular crown prince, and many Iranians support, and that many Iranians wish to bring the Pahlavi dynasty back to Iran to replace the Islamic Republic. And you support a lot of Iranians, a lot of secular Iranians, and you support their dream of having the Pahlavi dynasty back in Iran, and you support Reza Pahlavi, Prince Reza Pahlavi. Why is that?
He's perpetuating to restore Iran back to its golden age, which is the secularism and the coexistence with all the differences in Iran. Reza Pahlavi, His Royal Highness, I only call him His Royal Highness, Reza Pahlavi, is the only person who can restore Iran. And the approval rate that I've read recently of all Iranians for him to come back and restore Iran has reached like all highs to 70% or even more, if I'm not mistaken. Is it? Yeah, just correct me if I'm wrong. And so I saw His Royal Highness speaking to the public, speaking on those events. I think he's ready to take even the first 100 days of Iran restoration project. I've watched him very closely, and I never, by the way, support anyone without any evidence that puts me forward to keep supporting someone who's secular, who is asking to have a mandate from his people to restore the great Persia or the great Iran. So I've also went back to his father's time, and where he had a great relationship with anyone who was trying to shake hands with him and make the Middle East a better place to live and prosper. I've studied the relationship between the Shah Mohammad Reza with the Anwar Sadat, and I never forget the day when those radical Islamofascist regime in Iran took over, and they betrayed the entire Iranians. And Mohammad Reza Shah went to Egypt, and I saw the relationship between him and Anwar Sadat. Those people, they were reformers. And Reza Pahlavi the first, Shah Reza Pahlavi the first, had also great relationship with Mustafa Kemal Ataturk and their secularism and giving women the right to decide, the right to have a voice, the right to share the responsibilities, and make decisions to form the entire nation. And I saw that Reza Pahlavi, the second, the one that we want him back with his family to Iran. He never left his ancestors. He was connecting with his ancestors. There are a lot of people, complaining about any power that takes place in any part of this world. Even the most democratic countries, one of them is Canada, for example. You see now that Mark Carney coming to unite, or Pierre Poilievre coming to unite, and those people, they have like supporters and haters. You're talking about the most democratic country in the world. So when you look back, you cannot judge the tenure of anyone who faced a lot of challenges to defend his people, and you want him to score 100% decisions that can be accepted by everyone in that region. I don't see it. So I was very logical to listen to Reza Pahlavi, His Royal Highness, and I think he's the best person to restore Iran after the Iranian regime. It's not Jasem's words or his emotional ties to Reza Pahlavi. It's his own words and numerous events talking about the first 100 days after taking over from the Mullah regime to restore Iran and bring prosperity to Iran and connect Iran with the entire world and become another first world country. So Iran has all the they have all the capabilities to become a great country back again, but you need a leader and you need people behind this mandate.
There are a lot of people in Israel who are now supporting Reza Pahlavi, and there's also Reza Pahlavi, Prince Reza Pahlavi, and Netanyahu have met as well. Do you think that we're going to see maybe in Arab countries, among the more secular or liberal-minded Arabs in this region, some support for Reza Pahlavi? Because this could be, because Reza Pahlavi himself has this vision of the Cyrus Accord. So we already have an Abraham Accord that people are trying to better the relationship, normalize the relationship between Arab countries and Israel. However, Reza Pahlavi's vision is to have the Cyrus Accord, which actually adds a third element to this normalization, which would be Israelis, Arabs, and Iranians. So bring all of them together and create some normalization between all three. And I was wondering, I think Reza Pahlavi is a good person to highlight to make this happen. But I'm wondering, like, I was very fascinated by the fact that you know him and you're celebrating. Do you see any, like, among Arabs, some awareness of this person and celebration of him at all in any way?
It's inevitable, to not consider Reza Pahlavi as a leader for the next Iranian chapter. The Arabs, they wanted someone who is continuously bringing the truth about Reza Pahlavi and about the Iranian, and trying to debunk and this association. We have to bring the disassociation between the current IRGC with Reza Pahlavi. There are a lot of people there in confusion. They don't understand that Reza Pahlavi is not an Islamist. Well, how can we achieve that? Is through sacrificing. I'm sacrificing. I'm saying that I want the best for this region, and I've met the Iranians. The Iranians, I'm talking about the secular Iranians. I'm so sorry. I'm talking about the lion and the sun people, not the IRGC Islamist symbol. So the Arabs are in confusion. They don't understand exactly who Reza Pahlavi is. So what I'm trying to do that I'm connecting the bridges between the Iranian diaspora and the real Iranian people, the secular Iranian people who represents Iran and represents education, technology, representing peace, representing strong patriotic to Iran. So this bridge should be connected to the Arab world, and I've received a lot of disputes about this, but now I started to see people are convinced through my message because they wanted someone from the Arab world to say it, not to listen to another Iranian talking about it. So I'm just trying to build a bridge between both, and I'm promoting the truth. I never lied about this. I never boosted any message out of context. So there are a lot of changes happening in the Middle East, especially in the Arab world. And when I say Arab world, I'm talking about the GCC, the neighbors of Iran. The other world is like Arab-speaking world, I call them. I don't call them Arabs. So no matter what, the GCC has to pull themselves together and see where is their interest. It's okay to be pragmatic during this time. It's a very difficult time. There's a huge change. There's a new world order that is happening now in the Middle East, if we notice. So United Arab Emirates is the beacon of change. So they work now on the freedom of belief, and they've also joined and formed the declaration of the Abraham Accords, and they said we are welcoming anyone to join us. So I think Reza Pahlavi, His Royal Highness, is going to join the UAE, and if he joins the UAE, and I'm a GCC citizen, UAE, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia are one. We don't know what are the outcomes of Mr. Trump's visit to the GCC today, as we speak today. So it could be,
and unfortunately not Israel for some reason, which we could get to later.
Well, yeah. So I think the Arabs are they have started now to notice the the change that is happening now in the Middle East, and the the urgency demand to have Reza Pahlavi, His Royal Highness, back with his family. I can't wait to see them back to Iran. And I've mentioned this numerous of times, that His Royal Highness is he's speaking the language of restoration. He doesn't want to change Iran. He wants to restore Iran. Yeah, I can see the pictures.
That's for people who don't know. That's Reza Pahlavi and his family. He is the son of the former king of Iran, which is that's Mohammad Reza Shah and his family. And now his son has grown up and he's in the US, and he's trying to help Iran get rid of the Islamic Republic. By the way, during his father's time, Iran had a good relationship with Israel and also the Arab countries, and everything was stable. Relationships were, I mean, they didn't see eye to eye and everything, but they were allies, they were friends, they were working with each other. So again, this is what we want back. I mean, things were moving towards more secularism, more prosperity, more economic development, more education, more everything, until the Islamic Revolution happened and everything turned to crap. But here, let me tell you, Jasem, on my side, what I'm doing. So I also have this Persian channel, which I do shows on for a Persian-speaking audience, which is mostly Iranian audience. And on that, I am noticing that because a lot of Iranians. So yeah, But by the way, after this show here, I also have show on this channel. Usually, I do shows back to back on both channels, right? So one thing I could tell you that I'm noticing in Iran, because unfortunately in Iran for a while, anti-Islam attitudes in Iran are growing very rapidly, and I see in Iran the hatred for Islam in Iran is higher than I think any other country in the world, like by a huge margin. And it's not hatred for Muslims, but hatred for Islam, right? However, some of that hatred for Islam for a while had turned into this negative view of Arabs, because they saw Arabs as being responsible for bringing Islam to Iran. However, I've noticed a lot of over the past couple of years, a lot of people are separating Islam from Arabs, and they're also noticing secular activism among Arabs, atheist activism among Arabs, and they also, and one key point in making Iranians, even though those who are against Islam, not being anti-Arab, was Reza Pahlavi himself, because Reza Pahlavi wants to have a good relationship with Arabs in the region as well, and it's encouraging Iranians to have a more positive view towards Arabs, and looking for maybe a future that we could all be cooperating, be against Islamism in this region, but work with each other, like Israelis, Iranians, and Arabs working for a better, less Islamic Middle East in the future. So also on my channel, I try to separate this as well, and I try to introduce people. I actually mentioned you on the Persian channel to our audience, so that I could show, like, look, he's an Arab, he's against Islamism, he's pro-Israel, so please do not, don't make these the same thing. Like, we should find out. And he's also pro-Reza. By the way, that sold you. The fact that you're pro-Reza Pahlavi, that was like, okay, this guy is awesome. Okay. When I said he's an atheist, people were like, oh, that's interesting. When I said he's pro-Israel, people were like, well, that's interesting. And then when I said he's pro-Reza Pahlavi, I'm like, okay, we love him. We love him.
I love them more, believe me. It's look, it's scapegoating has been used as the main tool for the Arabs to just keep their heritage away from the Persian. There are a lot of Iranian heritage Kuwaitis, for example, and they still call them the Ajam, that like the foreign people. So I was saying, like, are you name calling the civilization who lived for like thousands of years? And when we say civilization, it means like people who came to form a language and then build a country, build a ruling system, and then prosper this and then become a civilization. What did we do as Arabs? I said, ask yourself a question. Arabs, and I'm one of them, and this is not, self-shaming. I'm only reflecting the truth. And the other half of me, the Egyptian, they've been destroyed by the Arab colonization. They had a lot of heritage, a lot of they had a very deep civilization as well. So the Arab colonization is only to come and ask you whether you're going to fight with us, you want to become Muslim, we can stop that. Or if you don't want to fight, you don't want to become Muslim, pay us money. So this is a fascism. This is in a nutshell. So the Arabs used to, we don't have any civilization, by the way, just to be very honest with you. They had only tents. They were walking around with rocks to clean their asses. So they used to dig in the desert and take out the nature coal, and then use those stones to just clean themselves, and then go back to their tents.
I mean, it's Sunnah. Muhammad did that. There's a hadith.
Muhammad also asked people to drink the camel urine. Please don't take me to that topic now. I can't stop. You won't stop me then after this. Anyways, so it all happened because of the version of Muhammad that the Salafis are promoting. There are other people, by the way. Let me just bridge this as well. This is my role here. There are other people now in the Islamic world. They're saying that Iran had no issue with us. We went and we invaded Iran, and we have already changed their identity by force. Now, they couldn't do this as much, for sure. You're talking about the Iranians. They're the most stubborn people to protect their own sovereignty. I know that. But, the cruelness and the criminal action that those radical Islam has, I never seen similar hate around the world that the Islam hold against. So I see that for example, if I'm connecting now the two topics well here, is that the Arabs has built their civilization after the discovery of oil, the petrol. That's it. We didn't have any buildings. We didn't have any movement activity. We did not connect with art and education or anything before this discovery. So I'm proud that we have at least started to do so, and the history will remember us. But when you talk about Iranians and you talk about Israelis, they have like thousands of years, of heritage. The Egyptians, they are an ethnicity by themselves. The Phoenix, the Lebanese, they call them Arabs, man. Who injected the ethnicity? I never seen this case in my entire life, that you bring a language and then this considered as an ethnicity, a cleansing of the current indigenous people, the Phoenix or the Amazighs in Morocco, and then you change them to Arabs, and now they are in an identity conflict. They don't know whether they're Arabs or Amazighs or Phoenix or Semites or whatever. So it's the weightage that we have now as free activists. It's huge, my friend. It's huge, and we want to connect. I don't want to only provocate. Provocating is one of the tools that I use for those people to think and start stopping and try to re-educate the self. So it's inevitable. So that's why Israel. Yeah, please go.
When it comes to the building connection, how can we encourage unity between Israelis, Arabs, and Iranians in the region for the sake of a more secular, more Islam-free Middle East? Like, what's your strategy? How could we encourage that?
Such a great question. Look, I know that there are a lot of files between us and any part of this world. If you're talking about an ethnicity, if you're talking about a religion, whatever. So, in my strategy is that I look for the commons between us and them. Now, the commons between us and Israelis is a lot. So even Muslims, if we're talking about Muslims now, if they want to connect with the Israelis, just look back. The Arabs that you kicked out of your own land, they went to Israel, and Israel welcomed them, and they are Arabs. They welcomed them, and they consider them as one of them. So today, you can see that the speaker of the Knesset, which is like one of the highest political roles in this country, and in Israel, he's Moroccan, and he's from the LGBTQ community. Can you tell me now? Is there any religion, any Abrahamic religion that accepts LGBTQ community? Israel accepts it, and the guy is a speaker of the Knesset. Now, let's go to something else. Do we have? Do the Arabs have any ministers in Israel, or like a province mayor or whatever? Yes, they do. They're Arabs. Some of them, they're Arabs. Okay, when we go to October 7, the most heartbreaking story, given the fact that everyone's tragedy is our tragedy as well, because we're talking about humans now, and this is the human connections that we want to bring on the table. But Eli Sharabi had a story that killed me. The guy is what I know, that the guy is originally Arab, and he was living in the Kibbutz region, which is close to the borders of Gaza, and they used to help the Palestinians they were against their government. They used to help the Palestinians to go to the best hospitals, driving themselves. They're driving them to the hospital themselves. And now October 7 brought that hate, the blind hate, and they killed the people who helped them in the kibbutz. They were the lefties of the kibbutz. They were against the Israeli government. Imagine what? The entire kibbutz now turned to be very patriotic now to Israel, and they support the Israeli government totally, without any conditions. So who created this condition is the what's so-called Arabs.
Also, Arabs in Israel are now more pro-Israeli after October 7th compared to before. There was a huge increase of Israeli Arabs seeing themselves as Israeli, supporting Israel after October 7th. So is there a lesson here on what, I don't know, I want to see what is the key here? What do we need to touch on to encourage more of that, more Arabs, more Iranians and Arabs and Israelis becoming united on a shared goal for peace, prosperity, and stability in this entire region? Because I think that there's no other way other than this happening. Do you see any solution? I want to see if there's the main thing that if we put our hands on will get us the highest leverage to speed this up.
Well, unfortunately, you're talking about the Arab-speaking nation, and those people are driven by, the motion and the mood of their leader. That's one, which is we're thriving to see, those uh, 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 I don't know what should we call it. It's a coincidence, right? It's a biological coincidence. If you have a leader that has a determination to connect the countries with Israel, to connect the countries with Iran, is one of the main elements to, you know, to concede
You're right.
to concede those radical
Okay.
Islamists into. Yeah.
You're right. We need a leader to lead the way in this path. So on the Iranian side, we have Reza Pahlavi, who wants better relationship with between Iranians, Israelis, and Arab countries. On Israel side, love him or hate him, Netanyahu wants the same thing. He's obsessed with a closer relationship with the Iranian people, not the Iranian government, the Iranian people, and he wants to normalize relationship with Arab countries. Do we have such a leader on the Arab side that could also lead the way
Oh
into
wow.
normalization?
Oh wow. The Emirates. Ever since Sheikh Zayed, the founder, the great founder. So the Emirates are following the same strategy all over. Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed now, he's doing a great job to connect with, and they kept on throwing jabs against UAE. One of them is the Port Sudan, when they took the UAE to the court, and they wanted to to destroy the UAE initiatives to promote peace. So they've lost that war, the Port Sudan, and we only have our voices. We want to connect, and we want to show them. I'm an investigative journalist. I just bring those information, those data that people, they don't have access to, or they want an analyzer who comes and puts his analysis into like a complex subject and just share it with the public. And this is what we're trying to do. So the 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 coincidence biological leader who are coming now, like Mohammed bin Salman, for example. But Mohammed bin Salman now is facing a lot of limitations from within Saudi Arabia. Is it okay to talk about this topic?
Yeah, yeah, of
Okay,
course.
King Salman is still an Islamist. King Salman is against his own son. I remember Mohammed bin Salman, when he came to the power, he has helped me a lot to put my face on the TV, while Kuwait has banned me from showing and sharing my thoughts and opinions on my own country's TVs. So he said, JJ will be on Arabia, Arabia, on NBC Arabia, on Independent Arabia. Come, bring your platform and speak about whatever you want to talk about. We saw your work, and we're proud of what you're doing, and we know that you're now going to be attacked by everyone, and this is the only platform we're giving it to you. Imagine I'm running for the parliament, and it was like I didn't want to be in the parliament. Actually, I was a senior vice president of Kuwait Financial Center. Can you imagine? So I've held a huge post in Kuwait. I was one of the prestigious leaders. They called prestigious leaders in Kuwait, as a senior vice president of Kuwait Financial Center. So I said, you know what? My part-time will be fighting those radical Islamists. And I didn't know. I never thought that I will be a protected person after that campaign. I didn't say anything different than what we said in the past. So again, UAE is the country, is the beacon of this change, this wave, and it's like a ripple effect. Now, the UAE has already affected the Saudi Arabia, when Mohammed bin Salman said Israel is not our enemy; they are our future allies. So when you say Israel is our
Say
future
that?
ally,
Did he say that on record? I
yeah,
didn't hear
yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He said it. He said it. He said it, and he helped me in Kuwait. I was like in a grave danger. So when he said this, the pressure, this is what I'm trying to say, that the leaders can help us continue the message, right? So the pressure like dropped significantly. I will share the source with you, and I've mentioned it to Kuwait. I said the guy is saying that Israel is not an enemy, and now King Salman has taken Mohammed bin Salman and his the leader of the Islamic world and the scholars, whatever his name is, Muhammad Al Isa. He took him out and he brought the guy who had the police, the moral police leader. His name is Abdul Latif Al Sheikh. So it's like, so King Salman is not in favor of everything that is going on, but Mohammed bin Salman is in a fight within Saudi Arabia. And I think when Saudi Arabia normalizes its relation with Israel, it's going to be again another rebel effect for the entire region. So, but you know, right, that Mecca and Hajj is a huge business, right? So they're making around $14 billion, and the stones that they throw against Lucifer is. It's worth around $3 billion. So, man, come on. Do you want to ruin your business? Of course not. You're going to go out and say like, oh, Israel is our enemy. Come on, Palestinians. Come on, all those terror sympathizers. Let's finish this campaign. Let's get our money and then get out of our way. I think this is what is going to happen after the Hajj season.
Oh, so you're saying this is Hajj season. What about, okay, so when it comes to getting secular-minded Iranians and more secular-minded, I mean, it's a spectrum, it's not black and white, Arabs unite with each other, one thing that is hurting this cause is the push to rename the Persian Gulf to the Arabian Gulf. And I saw that you came out and spoke against that. And I was one reason why I was so happy again that you said that. That I also that's why it encouraged me to invite you, to reach out to you and invite you on the show. Somebody also contacted me after you posted that, told me that you need to have this man on the show, and I'm like, yeah, definitely. So can you explain to people why this is so important, and why this doesn't serve anybody? It's not good for anybody to push for this, and it's not even good for the Arab countries to even push for this. Like, why is this? And you as an Arab, you are against renaming the Persian Gulf to the Arabian Gulf. Can you explain the significance of this and why it's so important?
Certainly. What a great question. Look, if you want to change a historic name for a sea, Gulf, country, people, ethnicity, you need to have the right basis to to put your foundation upon. I didn't see any solid foundation to call this the Arabian Gulf. I saw that Iran has also a neighbor from the other side, which is Oman, and it's called the Gulf of Oman. Iran didn't call it the Persian Gulf yet. So when I got to the civilization, when I go to the,
we also have the Arabian Sea. There's also
you have the Arabian, exactly, and it's written in the UN records, right? When you go to the official map of the UN, the latest map, the latest updates, you're gonna see Persian Gulf. So this is political. It's a political movement. I think nothing is like out there for free, and Trump is playing like as a businessman, changing names, changing the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, whatever. I'm against it. If there's a history tie to this particular place of this world, you cannot change it for a political gain. And if you change it from the Persian Gulf to the Arabian Gulf, then I'm going to ask a question. When did we ever see this called Arabian Gulf before the Persian Gulf? I saw the founder of the Saudi Arabia, King Abdulaziz. King Abdulaziz called the Gulf. I will call it the Persian Gulf. I don't care. I don't agree to the name changing to the Arabian Gulf. Enough with the colonization, to the lands, and now we want to go to the water as well. I don't think that
they already have a sea that's called the Arabian Sea, and it's bigger than the Persian Gulf. So why do they need? Given that you already have the Arabian Sea, why are they trying to rename the Persian Gulf to the Arabian Gulf? I don't understand. What is the benefit to them? Like, these Arab countries, they have to understand that the Islamic Republic might one day fall, and they need to invest in the Iranian people rather than the Iranian regime. And the Iranian people will never forgive the push for the Persian Gulf being renamed to the Arabian Gulf. And this is such a red line for them. And if they want, the power of Iran comes from the Iranian people. And the Arab countries need to work on building a stronger tie with the Iranian people rather than the Iranian regime. And this goes against that. This goes against their interests. We already have an Arabian Sea. Let the Persian Gulf stay the Persian Gulf.
Yeah, it's like it's a very cheap move to have a self-declaration in this region, to say that, you know what, we're going to change it to the Arabian Gulf. It's not a victory. It's a cheap move, and I think if you want to override the history, then this tells a lot about your history that is fake. Now, in the modern time, and this is a very crucial point, by the way, if you think about it, in the modern time, we have an interference from the USA to change the history to their own benefit. So what happened to the 1,400 years ago? Do we believe everything that happened? Do we believe that Islam was the religion of peace? Do we believe that Muhammad, he was the leader who ruled the world to make it a better place? Then I can see that they're reading from the same book to change history for their own benefit. And back to the naming thing and how cheap this is. We go back to the civilizations. Persia is one of the oldest civilizations in the world. And when we talk about the Declaration of Human Rights or the Koresh Slender or whatever it is, we don't see any evidence for the Arabs in that particular time. So tell me, what did you do in that sea? Did you make a huge victory? Did you have a war? Did you have like anything has to do with like the Persian changing the name of Persians rather than having a land, calling it the Arab land at the other side of this coast? And do you call it like the what do you call it? I forgot the name of the Arab area in that Iran.
Yes?
So anyways, yes, exactly. The Ahwaz. I said like,
Ahwaz in Iran, inside Iran. Ahwaz, yes, okay.
Ahwaz is Ahwaz, it's a new name. So you've invaded. You put your people there. They're Tamimis. They're from the GCC area. How did they travel there? And do you want to call this as like an Arab state? Is this how you deal with the modern world system? I think it's a very cheap move in my views. And if you want to still have a fight against the Iranians and the which is like the Persian Empire back in times, then it's you are taking advantage of how weak the mullah regime is, and then you take advantage of the mullah regime and trying to attack the real Iranians. The name of Persian, you want to take it down. What are the motivations behind this? Islamic motivation. What's behind this? Arabizing everything. So when you Arabize everything, it doesn't mean that you have a better support. I'm just letting you know that now the Islamo-fascist regime sympathizers, they don't want the Persian Gulf to be called Persian Gulf. Maybe they want it to be called the Islamic Persian Gulf now. So now imagine the complexity that we're going to live to restore that name. Who's going to be involved in this, Armin? It's huge. So to me, I'm an Arab, half Arab. I can say that it's you know, it gets them nowhere. It gets them nowhere. When you call the Egyptians Arabs, when you call the Moroccans Arabs, when you call the Algerians Arabs, when you call it took them nowhere. They're against the Arabs itself now because you have the oil, and they think that you have a lot of responsibilities towards this.
Yeah, and does because you think that the UAE and the leaders in UAE, like the MBZ, Mohammed bin Zayed, is a good leader? We have Netanyahu, we have Reza Pahlavi, and from the Arab side, you're suggesting MBZ. Is he at all pushing for the Persian Gulf to be renamed to the Arabian Gulf? Like, is he at all doing that? Because that would be a deal breaker.
I don't think I have a clear information about this. And by the way, again, if MBZ and MBS and Netanyahu himself, if they were behind this, I will resent it, no matter what. But again, I don't want to cut the ties. Do you get it? So the name change will be dealt later. By the way, believe me, it's not going to stay as is. We are going to call it out every time we have a platform to speak about it. I always call the names as is. So when you call Iran, I don't call it as Iran now. I call it the IRGC or the Islamo-fascist regime in Iran. I don't call them leaders. So we need to make sure us, the ones who have the platform,
occupied Iran.
It is an occupation. It's an Islamic occupation, and they use a different.
They call Israel occupied Palestine, but we call Iran occupied Iran. We don't call it.
Look! I don't love politicians. I don't love politicians. I always look at them as someone who wants to make gains and then try to reach a goal. But Benjamin Netanyahu is a different case. I like this guy. I really like him. I like what he's doing right now, and how brave he is, and how far he went. Now the Israeli, for example. Now after I'm closing this, if Mohammed bin Zayed and Mohammed bin Salman is behind this, I'm going to say that you are totally wrong. But I'm not going to cut ties at all. I'm going to look at the other files. We need to be fluid in that sense, right? So I'm going to say that you were totally wrong on that file. But you know what? I wanted to continue the course to take the radical Islamists down. In my views as well, is that if you want to have a better place, we better know how to deal with these disputes and disagreements. I don't want to cut it. I don't want to cut ties. Cutting ties is the main goal of the Islamo-fascist regime. I think the Islamo-fascist regime, by the way, was behind it. They didn't say much. Don't you notice? They didn't say much. They like, okay, like do it. We know that who's coming to us, and who's coming to us now, which is Reza Pahlavi, His Royal Highness. He's not gonna ignore this, and he addressed it. I follow him. I know what he's doing. I follow his work. So he addressed it very clearly and said that this is a rigged project. It's never called Arabian Gulf or anything. So Israel, the Islamo-fascist regime, in Iran, the occupation, okay, the invasion of Iran, in a form of, they call themselves Iranians. I think it's going to collapse very soon, and Israel is going to play a huge role in this. That's why I'm saying Benjamin Netanyahu has helped Israel to gain a lot of support from the Arabs. Back in times, they were all ideologized with like, the Intifada, we are all Intifada. And then when I went back and I made my investigative journalist report in a form of a thread. So I said, guys, do you want to know who's the beacon of this Intifada? You're talking about the guy who held his son under the fires? Okay, here you go. Get this report. And the report showed that it was a Hollywood staged operation. And I said, you know what? I know it's a shock, but his son is alive. What about that? So, and the one who he held in that scene, it wasn't his son. But they were like, what? I've received a lot of messages, by the way, direct messages. They said, JJ, you cannot destroy our belief system this way. I said, you've been taught that this is the truth, right? Now I'm bringing you a different opinion and a different side of this story. Look at it. Just look at it. I don't want to convince you on anything.
Right. So let me tell you what I think the best strategy is, and you let me know if you agree with this, right? Because I think what the politicians do is eventually all foreign policy is basically a reflection of internal domestic policy. So whatever politicians are doing regarding their relationship with other people is basically the main motivation is to get reelected. The main motivation is to get the support of their own people, right? So, but I think for us to encourage politicians moving in the right direction, we just should move on creating a momentum on the ground between people, and then the politicians will automatically eventually follow whatever is getting them the most power, right? So if we want these leaders, the Arab, Israelis, and future Iranian leaders of a free secular Iran to actually become closer together, and I'm actually current leader as well, because Reza Pahlavi, we consider him a current leader, not just a future leader, right? What we have to do is we should just connect with each other, right? So secular-minded Arabs, secular-minded Iranians, and Israelis, we should just bond with each other and build this tie and support each other. And I think that will eventually slowly get the leaders, the more anti-Islamism, the more secular-minded leaders, to basically follow the lead of their own people. So we just need to, instead of a top-down approach, we should invest in a bottom-up approach. We should create this culture of the anti-Islamism mindset between Arabs, Iranians, and Israelis to just work with each other and unite with each other and create a common ground, create a few points that we see eye to eye with, and just use that as a way to continue talking with each other and show that unity between these three groups of people. What do you think?
I will tell you like a real life example. I agree. I totally agree with what you're taking the audience attention to. In Saudi Arabia, for example, in Kuwait, let me start from my country, my beloved country. My main message when I run for the parliament is to call the parliament out, to seize the action of the parliament, because it was a huge circus of the Islamists. I said, seize it, take the constitution, bring a new study, and bring all the educated people and make a new reformed constitution. You need to remove the Second Amendment, which says that the religion of this country is Islam, and Sharia is one of the main sources of jurisdiction. I said, we need to do something about this. You know what happened in Kuwait? I've been fighting for this for 3 years, ever since I was in Kuwait and then outside Kuwait. the current emir, and in his appointing day, he spoke from the parliament and he said, I will call the parliament out and I will seize the current constitution and I'm calling for a new constitution study. Well, I was the only one talking about it, but they were the silence, the general silence when Muhammad Reza Shah, the great Muhammad Reza Shah, said it in one of the interviews. He said there are the general silence people. They will remain silent, but they are in support for the Pahlavi's family to stay in power. And they were asking him whether Iran has left Reza Pahlavi, left the Muhammad Reza Shah, the great Muhammad Reza Shah, or not. He said there are general silence people in support, and they have a huge effect. And there will be a time when we will come back. This is what he exactly said in one of the interviews, and in English. So, in Kuwait, my fight, won when in Saudi Arabia, and I'm not Saudi. I have my ancestors, I have my family. I have a huge, deal in Saudi Arabia when it comes to family and ethnicity. So, big names in Saudi Arabia. They're my cousins and my family. I said the Ministry of Justice in Saudi Arabia is one of the most corrupt Ministry of Justice in the world, and compared to the GCC, is the most corrupt power in the GCC. You know what happened? They trolled me on social media. It's a mobbing campaign. You know what I did? I said I'm gonna stand tall, and I will repeat the same message. And I kept repeating the same message. And I went after the Minister of Information. And I said, you are allowing those people to take my wife's picture and my daughter's picture. They took it from my marriage event that I've shared on social media. And then they played, yes, this one. And they were resenting me because I took my wife. I married my wife in a civil marriage. I was the only Kuwaiti who did this and announced it. And I've had a huge deal, to attest this marriage in our system. It was a 3-year, cases back and forth and changing names, and the judges, they were asking me if I'm Muslim or not. I'm saying no, I don't want to answer these questions. And then they took notes, and then they went after me. Anyways, this was back in 2014, I believe. Anyways, so in Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, after a huge campaign, was against me, and I will send you all the resources. And you know what he said on Fox News with Brett, the famous Brett? You know what he said? He said, our judiciary system, I feel ashamed from our judiciary system. That's only a couple of days after the trolls took place. And you know what? Everyone shuts down. Everyone shuts down attacking Jasem. So these are life examples, and I have all the evidence. So does it make a huge effect in the modern time? Yes, they listen to us. Don't you think that they're going to listen to this interview? They want to see the other Jasem. They want to see how Jasem connects with the West. Maybe one day you're going to hear that Jasem is the new Kuwaiti ambassador to Israel. Who knows? I don't know. If it happened, it will be like a huge victory for freedom and human rights, for restoring the Middle East back to its time when we had a great Middle East with great leaders. I want to see the great leaders back again. We have great leaders already. I think Mohammed bin Zayed is one of the great leaders. I think Mohammed bin Salman can make a great leader. He's not a leader yet. He's only a crown prince. So I hope, and I'm supporting them, to restore the Middle East. And I want Reza Pahlavi to connect this puzzle. We have one person that has to be connected to this entire project. His Royal Highness Reza Pahlavi.
I think Reza Pahlavi is the key in connecting all of this together. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He is. And Benjamin Netanyahu, he couldn't stop addressing the Iranian people, and he made it like a couple of times. And one of his speeches, I'm sorry to cut you here, but I want to just mention this. He made an announcement about something related to the Iranian people. I said, you know what? You're going to back this out, okay? IRGC will never listen to you. And then at the same day, at night, he went out and he showed that it's the same day, but it's a night time. And he restored his message and he addressed the Iranian people again. So I think Benjamin Netanyahu he also, as a leader, can't wait to see Iran changing, because it's going to help his nation to restore peace and to have a new relationship. Because Koresh, they call them, they have a Koresh street in Israel, and I saw that. So yeah, so they love him, Cyrus. They love him, and they would never forget what King Cyrus did, and Muhammad Reza Shah, and the Reza Pahlavi the first, all those great leaders. I think one day we're gonna have a better Middle East, but it's an everyday work, Armin, me, you, and everyone who's listening to us.
Yeah, and by the way, Cyrus the Great was the type of king that if he was the king in modern times, he would have also a good relationship with Arab countries as well. But given what we saw about him, about his role, he would try to have a good relationship with everybody and create peace and stability. By the way, before
no, you can't.
No,
no, you can't. Back in time, no. They were very ideologistic. But nowadays, yes.
If Cyrus the Great was around today.
Yeah, of course. You have Reza.
There was no Arabs during Cyrus' time. I'm saying if Cyrus was around today, if he was the king today, he would also try to resist.
Definitely. Yeah. Even Reza Pahlavi, if he's a king today, he could achieve the same thing.
Yeah. By the way, let me actually, before I forget, guys, everybody go check Jasem's links. Okay. I put it in it's in the description. It's in the live chat. You should go follow him everywhere, especially on X, Exiled, Twitter, X, whatever. Go follow him, because his tweets his posts on X are very, very popular. So make sure you go look at his link tree and follow him everywhere. By the way, you shared with me, Jasem, something. This is something you shared with me. Is it okay? We talked before I go to some of the. I know we're going over time. I'm going to quickly ask you to explain this to me, and then I have 8 comments, including some super chats that I want to go through with you. But
please go ahead.
Should I play it? Should I? Play it?
Please.
Okay. Let me play it first. You sent this to me. I want you to tell us about it. Hold on. It has music. Music. Copyright. It might get copyright strike. So hold on. I don't know if I could.
It's not. It's not a song. It's not a song.
Your cat. Yeah. Let's look at the cats.
Let me tell you.
This is you. This is you. Okay. You explain it. Okay.
All right. So I was talking about one of the Quran's surat. Okay, one of the verses of Quran called Tawbah. So I said that this chapter of Quran has to be removed, or has to be banned from the use of the scholars and the political Islamist activists. Because in this Tawbah, it's literally asking every single Muslim walking on the street to kill the non-Muslims, to discriminate the non-Muslims, and to declare victory over the entire humanity. So I said, you know what? And in the videos, you can see a lot of text that comes up. They say that the mutasahin means the Zionist, the atheists, which they were both and in these both times they were right. So people started to engage in my topic about Tawbah. So I've received a lot of death threats in that time. You're trying to reform Quran. Quran is the best book, whatever. So they thought that Jasem will shut up and hide somewhere. So I went out. I opened a space on X. Said, guys, I know there are a lot of resentments against me. You know what? Why don't we talk? I said, are you serious? Yes, let's talk. Tell me where did I go wrong in this? Where? So when I brought them and I invited them to my space, they started to, they were just poking me in like few things about Quran, that Quran is the righteous thing and whatever. So, I was taking them, down the streets with few questions. I'm saying, do you want to kill people now? They said no. I said, do you want to declare the winning of Islam over the entire world? They said no. I said, that means that we need to take this to an Old Testament. You have to open a chapter. They have to do the work. If you want to have a continuity of this religion and to be connected with the current civilized system, you need to have an Old Testament and the New Testament. You have to do something, guys. You cannot just sleep on this. The Jews worked on this, and now they have a secular state. The Christianity worked on this, and today we have a secularism. And thanks to those philosophers who stayed behind and watched the entire war and saw the shed of bloods, and they said, you know what? Let's find a solution. And the solution was this, the secularism and liberalism. So you have to sit down and analyze, witness, and then provide the solutions. I did it on your behalf, guys. I just wanted to reform, to change the wording, or to take this Surah Tawbah from the use of any activist in this world. It doesn't work. And Islam is not a book that you can use in any era. It's only valid for the era of the Arabization, the Arab colonization. That's it. Okay, we have to call it Arab colonization. Okay, it's about money. It's about women. It's about taking by power and by greediness the lands of others. So let's not try to softening the message here, and because you have two words for two different people. When you speak to the Muslims, you scream about killing others, and when you speak with the West, you change your wording and you become like a very soft as the translation of Quran in English. When you read the Quran in English, you see like I can't believe it. So guys, you are changing the wording. You are kafirs more than me. You're like you're all atheists. You cannot do this to your own book. You have to translate it as it's written. So hitting women in Quran says hitting women in Quran is hitting. Okay, in Arabic it's like hitting. Darb. Okay.
Azribahunna.
Wadribuhunna. It's like if you want to have sex with your wife. Yeah, if you want to have sex with your wife, if she's not ready on bed, hit her. Say it's time, woman. Just take your clothes off. In the English interpretation or the translation of this, it says gently discipline her. Gently discipline? What do you mean by gently discipline? It's hitting, okay? So it's like a form of abuse.
When they put gently in the brackets there, basically that's an admission that the Quranic word is not complete, and we needed to add something to it to make it better. Because we had to add a word there. Because why did you need to add the word there? Was the verse itself not complete and perfect?
Yeah, no. It's like we have. It's like Al Jazeera. You know Al Jazeera news. Al Jazeera, they have the Arabic Al Jazeera and they have the English Al Jazeera. Erdogan again.
Yeah.
They have two different characters. They have two different characters. the Arabic side, they're saying, oh, the Zionists, and on the English side, oh, the state of Israel,
That's a
the
perfect
Jewish people.
comparison. Arabic
It's
Quran and English Quran is like English Al Jazeera and Arabic Al Jazeera.
yes, that's my wording. This is my interpretation. So there's something wrong, my friend, and they don't want to admit it. I said, guys, come on. You cannot have two characters in one time. So I'm calling. I kept on calling. And by the way, when I asked to remove al-Tawbah from Quran, I said, guys, I have a solution for you. Where is the head of the Islamic world scholars? His name is Muhammad al-Isa. I said, back in time when he was Muhammad al-Isa, before King Salman removed him. So I said, Muhammad al-Isa, please, you have talked very positively about secularism. So I see there's hope here in Saudi Arabia. So my advice to you from an atheist, take it from an atheist, stop allowing others to interpret this Quran and issue a book, okay, that Saudi Arabia can call it the only interpretation of this Quran, the only interpretation, and you have the power to do so. So you're going to stop all those, the new activists and those who are like collecting money through donations, whatever, to Africa. I said they are not going to collect any money for the poor people in the United States. You know why? Because the regulations doesn't allow them to bring only the friction of what they collected, and they try to make a case there in the United States. They're going to audit them. So isn't this like a flag? Don't you think that those people, they became billionaires and millionaires out of what so-called tabarru'at or donations for Muslims? So I'm trying to wake the entire nation up, but this is how far I can go.
Well, I mean, you're doing amazing work. Again, I encourage people to follow you on Twitter because you are
Thank you so
actually
much, Armin.
a lot of hope. You give me a lot of hope, and you have no idea. I'm gonna I have already, and I'm gonna continue using you as an example on our Persian channel to bring like some hope for unity and growth in the future. And also, a lot of people in the chat agree with me. Actually, let me highlight them. Bar just gave us a super chat saying, "Love you, Jasem and Armin. Love from Israel. Free Iran." So we're getting a lot of love from.
Love you back.
Also gifted 5 memberships to people in the in the live chat.
Awesome.
Sam also from Israel saying love from Israel to Jasem. Very happy to see you here. But this channel has a lot of Israeli supporters, and and also Carl saying great discussion. Thanks, Jasem. Guys, thank you so much for the super chats. We also had a few questions. We have to to give a quick answer to each one of these questions that I have.
Yes, please. Go to the negative ones now. I want the public to see our reactions to the negative ones, if you have one.
Well, I mean, the negatives were not started by Gene because they were just swearing, and it was just people.
Swearing! I love it. I love it, guys.
Low IQ. So that was basically not much to respond to. I don't know what we're gonna say. It was just the negative ones don't have much substance in them. I mean, if I was, Gene, if you see any negative ones, can you start them, guys? People who are watching who are against what me and Joseph are saying, this is your chance to say something. Gene will start them, but let me go through the ones that already Gene has highlighted already, while she maybe looks for some other negative ones. Young Atheist saying, do you think middle? Oh wait, no, just let me take control of the
previous one.
Yes. Just start the negative ones, okay? Young Atheist saying, do you think Middle East can become secular because this is the place where Islam was invented? Like, okay, what do you think? Is it possible?
It is, of course, in the United Arab, but there are no official declaration of becoming secular, right? So this is how it works. You need to do it, behind the scenes, and you change the laws day by day, because still those people are connected to the religion as of their own only faith. So they want to improve the patriotic side of those people through through inventions, through completions of general projects, through improving their performance on a lot of industrial fronts in the world. So in the United Arab Emirates, for example, they have over 200 passports entered the United Arab Emirates, and that shows that they are secular. Another thing is that the freedom of belief in the United Arab Emirates, and we were behind the United Arab Emirates, and I was saying this is the only thing that left in the for the United Arab Emirates to become one of the world leaders in the region. So they have released a law stating that Islam is not a mandatory for Emiratis. I'm talking about the Bedouin Emirat, the people who lived in the desert. Now they can go to the government today, and they can say, we have already, changed our religion. We have, moved to a different religion, or I don't want to be associated with any religion in the database. So you can do this in the Emirates today. So this is a huge achievement. If Emirates can do it, Saudi can do it, Kuwait can do it, Bahrain can do it, Qatar can do it, and Oman can do it. So there is hope. There is hope, but the road is still rough, and we need to keep the work. And you're a young atheist. I want you to be safe as well. If you're living in those countries, be careful. Don't speak out. Look at me. This is what happened to me. Leave it to us. Help us in the private messaging. Send us all the cases that you want us to make a comment on, and we will try to do our best to be truthful and to work towards a secular Middle East.
Okay. Hold on, let me see. Okay, so we have we have Roxy and Rox saying, let's go over each one of them really quickly. I'm trying to fish for negative comments, but so far I'm just seeing one person calling you gay. I don't know. That's
gay?
the negative.
Well, yeah. why being a gay is wrong? First of all, I'm married.
Maybe he's saying other people are calling you gay, so that's the negative.
No, it's okay. This is my answer. I will give it to anyone. I've supported the LGBTQ movement in Kuwait. It's not a movement, actually. It's a community. So I supported them in my campaign, the parliamentary campaign. I know that it takes me nowhere, but I just wanted to voice them out. I said that they have the right to be human. If you don't want them to live in Kuwait, if our law and the system doesn't support them to be who they are, send them abroad. Send them abroad, support them in a country that accepts them the way they are, and then bring them back when the law is ready. So I've been in support to them. So I'm not ashamed of their status, right? Okay, move on.
All right. So D is saying, how do you make sense of UAE supporting the RSF? So the Sudanese, the Rapid Support Forces in Sudan. So a lot of people are saying that because you support the UAE, but they're supporting some maybe harmful, like some people question the military.
UAE is against the Brotherhood regime, the Brotherhood community in this world. So,
but they're supporting the Rapid Support Forces in Sudan. That's what D is pointing at.
Well,
the UAE is denying it though.
Well, when I say I like UAE, it doesn't mean that I'm in control of their diplomatic activity in the region. So now, up to my knowledge today, that the UAE is against the Brotherhood and the radical Islamists in the region. So I allow the UAE because we don't have all the information clear. I allow the UAE to be active and to do whatever they have in their hands to fight them. If they put their hands with the devil, put a hand with the devil, finish something, like whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't believe in devil, so anyways.
Yeah. Here on this channel, we say thank you, please, instead of thank God whenever we need to. Rux is saying, why some Saudis get punished for breaking Islamic rules, even though the MBS has a different views about Islam, like you say.
MBS is not a king. MBS is only a crown prince and the head of the executive branch. So Mohammed bin Salman doesn't have any, any power. Just for your information, people, they get it wrong. And if you go to my channel, you're going to see that I have already mentioned Lujayn al-Hadlul, Manah al-Utaybi. I've mentioned all of them in the criticism of the judiciary system, and Mohammed bin Salman has backed me. He said, I'm ashamed of our judiciary system.
By the way, thank you, Rux, for the super chat. Do you condemn Mohammed bin Salman's involvement in Yemen, the bombardments, because he bombarded?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Definitely.
Wow, you're very consistent. Like, you're not black and white. I like that about you. Like, you support what you need to support and you condemn what you need to condemn. That's really good. Ginga is saying, Ginga, thank you for the super chat from Israel again. Ginga is saying, problem is religious people will always outbreed us.
Yes, this is what they want, and you were existed before them. So now, if you are an atheist today, you have a lot of freedom in Israel to become an atheist and declare it out loud. In Kuwait, for example, no, I face a lot of issues when it comes to the prosecutor, and he took a CD. He was showing me a CD. He said, and they put me in jail for a while, and one hashtag called حرية لجاسم الجريد, freedom for Jasem Aljuraid. So that hashtag took me out of jail. You know what happened? They said you had an interview with an Israeli journalist named Rai Kais. I said, yeah. And he said, all right, come here. You have a close ties with our enemy, and you might be, against our sovereignty. I said, what? I've been talking to them while Sheikh Sabah al-Ahmed was alive. So there are a lot of things that has changed in Kuwait, and I was the metric of that change. So I showed people that there is a huge change that is happening. And you know what? I want to say this very quickly. The guy who was behind my prosecutions, the Minister of Interior in Kuwait, I've released a report against him on social media. And I said, this guy is stealing money from the ministry itself. And I call the current emir to take a look at him. You know what happened? He is in jail today. A couple of weeks ago, it was announced that he's in jail, and he returned 14 million Kuwaiti dinars. And he's in jail for over 10 years. Can you imagine? And he's sheikh. He's from the royal family. Do you see the change? So we need to just keep going. Someone going to listen to this, and someone going to pass it to someone, and someone going to take action. We don't know what's happening behind the scene.
Okay, so 3 points. Let's go rapidly. In Jasem's opinion, does he think Reza Pahlavi ruling Iran would be better for neighboring Arab countries?
Well, it's the Arab countries will always try to have good neighboring with Iran. Iran is a strong country. Now they called the IRGC our brother, the IRGC leader as our brother, the faqih. So it's forget about the Arabs for a while now. We want Reza Pahlavi to come, and we want the mandate to come from Iranians. And Iran has to do something internally. When Reza Pahlavi is in place, His Royal Highness, believe me, this guy is going to do the right thing in this region.
You know what? Let me actually, when Iran was under the Pahlavis, Iran was a source of stability for this entire region. When the Islamic Republic came into the power, Iran became the source of all the problems right now that we have in the Middle East right now comes from inside Iran. If we go back to Pahlavi, I think we're going in the same way that the Islamism is being exported out of Iran right now into the whole region and is causing a lot of problem. If we go back to the Pahlavi, we're going to go back to exporting stability, secularism, and stability back. I mean, the problem comes from Iran, and the solution also comes from Iran. If you change the Islamic Republic back to the Pahlavi dynasty, everyone will benefit. Israel will benefit, Iran will benefit, the Arab neighboring countries will benefit, because everything will go back to how it was, to being stable. So I think the key to all of our problems is inside Iran for everybody.
Exactly. This is what I'm trying to say. You have to go and think about the priority list. Your priority list is for the Iranians to show their support to Reza Pahlavi. When he comes to the power, believe me, this guy is very diplomatic. This guy has a plan, and he's talking finance, he's talking diplomacy, he's talking about restoration, he's talking about big things, big projects, and he has a mandate. But we want this mandate to be voiced out. I know there are a lot of voices in Iran, and they're trying to suppress them and oppress them in Iran. But again, it's Donald Trump said it. We want to see a big move in Iran so we can support it. Benjamin Netanyahu has also encouraged everyone in Iran to do so. And Reza Pahlavi himself, His Royal Highness, said the same thing. So I will just repeat his words. It's about Iran. Forget about the Arab world now. So once you're in the power, okay, in the power, which is the interest of Iranian, the interest of this great nation, then everyone will follow. And we can see the effect of peace after them.
You as an Arab are saying, forget about the Arab countries, focus on Iran.
Yeah, of course. Okay. It's your nation. What Arabs now? Arabs are struggling themselves now to find their way. So if Reza Pahlavi comes, it's a huge element for their stability. So forget about the Arabs. Things gonna be okay. And we want peace now. The new rulers, the new leaders, they want peace. They don't want any instability. But the name change, whatever, those like cheap fights, it's going to be there. But I'm against it because this is my own opinion. So I'm not in favor of.
By the way, Jean, who's our volunteer from Israel, who's been highlighting the comments and starting them, she also wanted to let you know that. Yeah, Jean wanted to say high five to you for avoiding a religious marriage. She also said she had to register as married 6 times in Israel to avoid the rabbinical system. So she was trying to get married, bypass the rabbinical marriage, basically doing a marriage like you did. So she had to do. So she went through all of that in Israel as well.
I went through a lot of trouble, believe me, in Kuwait.
All right, this is great, Jasem. You have been amazing. I like how this whole discussion here. We have Arabs in the chats. We have Iranians in the chat. We have Jewish Israelis and Arab Israelis. We have Zionist Palestinians in this chat. Did you know that we have Zionist Palestinians? Zionists.
I have no idea.
We have the most interesting audience on Atheist Republic. Okay, so
wow.
Yeah.
Good for you guys.
So and they are celebrating you. Many people already knew you, but the people who didn't are so excited now to meet you. And guys, again, please go follow Jasem on X. His posts are amazing. I'm learning a lot from him, and I think you will too if you follow him. Okay. And again, Jasem, thank you so much. You have been amazing. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I just want to thank you first. It's a great opportunity to be amongst the Iranian diaspora in the West, or even the ones in Iran, the ones who are looking to restore Iran back to its great times. That's number one. Number two, there are a lot of friends, a lot of people. They asked me to write a book about my story because the journey was really tough, and it's been a worthwhile, to mention it. And they wanted to support me through that book, and I'm really humble to say thank you so much, guys. I will be traveling to Israel very soon. I've received an official invitation from the government to visit Israel and talk about everything that happened back in the Middle East, and they want to hear my analysis about it. So it's I'm really grateful for everyone who wants to support me. I will try to do something, because I cannot just say no, guys, I don't want it. It's like being really silly. I don't know if it's going to be a form of YouTube or it's going to be like GoFundMe. I have no idea, but I didn't do it. I didn't want to use any platform or anything that I did for any personal gains. But I will do something just to to give them an answer. Like, I'll leave it to you. So thank you so much, guys.
The Israelis in the chat are excited that you said that. They're asking when, where are you coming?
I know they're very generous. Look, I think it's in the next couple of months. I'm a protected person.
You will mention it on your X, right? Like, you will post about it.
Yes,
right?
yes,
okay,
yes.
So guys, if you want to know when, just keep following his post on X, and he will be telling you. Anyways, okay. So I already took. We were supposed to talk 1 hour. It became 2 hours. Sorry, I tricked you. Jasem.
Not a problem. It's a great honor.
All right. Well, thank you again. Hope to talk to you soon again. I will. Keep in touch.
Yeah, let's keep in touch. Take care. Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye.